So to get a perfect line, I normally remove ½ inch as my starting line. So after removing ½ inch, from the ½ inch I'll start taking my measurement. So I start by marking out my shoulder measurement, which is 7.25. My shoulder, when you divide the shoulder by 2, you get 7.425. That's my shoulder. So after that, I mark 1 inch as my shoulder slope, because our body is not that standing straight. If you look at our shoulder, it's kind of, I don't know how there's this shape the shoulder is. So for you to make it to be perfect, you put 1.5 as your shoulder slope, as the slope. To make it to be slant, because our shoulder is kind of slant. Then the next thing I did is to mark my neckline. So after that, I connect my shoulder slope. After that, I connect my neck line to my neck depth. Then from my shoulder slope, I take my armhole measurements, which is my shoulder divided by 2. That's how I used to take my armhole measurement. Then I connect it to a straight line. I make sure that the line is straight in my bust. I connect it, making that place to be the armhole line. Then from there, I mark my bust measurement divided by 2. Then I divide the straight line, the armhole straight line, I divide it by 2. It gives me 3.25. From 3.25, I come in by ½ inch. From the upper side, as you're seeing right now, I connect the 3 lines. I connect from my shoulder to the ½ inch that I came in. Then I connect to where my bust, I marked my bust measurement divided by 4. Then from there, I take my bust measurement, my bust span, which is 9. And then I take the length of my bodice, which is 16. This bodice that I'm making is a half scale bodice, not the full scale bodice. It's something that after you can add skirts on it, use it and make a gown, or you can contour it for any other thing. Then after that, I connect the distance down, the armhole line. That's my bust measurement. I connect it down. So after that, I took my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2, which is 6.5 divided by 2, 3.25. Then I connect as in a straight line. From my bust, which is my bust span is 9. From my bust line, I came down by 1 inch because it's bust. So you have to come down by 1 inch for it to make a space. It's like creating a space for your bust to sit. So from there, I take my ½ of an inch, that's ½ inch in both the straight line that I made in my dart. Yes, I took ½ inch and ½ inch. Then I made it in a slanted line. So from there, I took my waist measurement divided by 2. Then I replaced the dart. My dart was 1 inch. I replace it. After that, I connect it to my bust. So guys, this is it for, it's not like the end. Now I'll have to add all my stitching allowance. Sometimes I add in my neck, sometimes in my all around. You just have to add your stitching allowance. But in this case, because I don't want my neck, I want it to be more down. So after that, guys, there was this thing they used to call bust measurement. So how you get your bust measurement is between the length of the front and the back. That's what is your bust measurement. So from your armhole line, you come down by 2 inches. From the place that you marked your dart, this is your first dart, you come out by 1 inch. From there, you made a straight line for you to touch the 2 inches. As you can see there, that's a straight line. So mine is 1 inch. That's the difference, is 1 inch. I mark half in both sides. I mark half up, half down. The length of my front bodice is 16, while the back is 15. So I marked half. So after marking the half, I connect it to that 1 inch that I come out from my bust, from my nipple to nipple, the line in my nipple to nipple. So I made it like a slanted line. So if you look at it very well, you see that it's looking like a dart, the down dart. So you can choose to open the down dart and leave the other one open. So guys, that's it for our front bodies. Everything is done and dusted. So let's go to the back. So guys, for the back bodies, the same thing we did to the front, the same thing we are going to do to the back. I first of all remove my 1/2 inch first for the starting line. Then I went ahead to remove 2 inches for my zipper. Well, I like removing 2 inches, but in some cases I remove 1.5 or 1. But in this one, because it's like a bodice, it's like it's beginning of everything, you can contour it later. So I removed 2 inches. Then I connect all the lines. After that, I went ahead to mark all my lines. I mark my bust measurements. Then I now marked my length. And the back one, you don't even need your bust. Your chest line is okay. Yes, because the back do not have any bust, so no need of putting the bust there. I just purposely put it there in case. Then I went ahead to take my neck width, which is 3. I took it the same 3 in this thing in the front bodies. I went ahead to take my shoulder measurement, then my shoulder slope. I went ahead to take my neck depth. And the back, the neck depth is always small. Is either you put half or highest you put 1. Unless you want your back to be more open, you can now put as much as you want. But on a normal note, if you want to sew something like high neck, 1/2 inch or 1 inch is okay. Then I went ahead to connect my shoulder slope. The shoulder slope with the front and the back is always the same. So from there, I take my distance. I made a mistake. I'm supposed to start from the shoulder slope. That's where you start and start taking your nipple to nipple measurement. This is where I come down now to take it. I take my armhole measurement. That's the center line there. That's the armhole measurement. Then I make sure that I align it very well. It is okay with the same distance. Then I marked, and because I want to get the straight line between the shoulder and the armhole line, I have to align it very well. That was when I did it that way. Then I connect the line. I made it to be in a straight line. Then I went ahead to connect my bust measurement, the bust I actually put there. Then I connect the length of my bodice, which is 15 inches. My front is 16 because of my bust, while the back is 15. I told you that the back is always shorter. Then from there, I took my armhole measurement. You take the straight line, you measure it and divide it by 2. Anything you get in that straight line from your shoulder slope, that's where you take your measurement to the down part. Anything you got there, you divide it by 2. So my armhole, I divided it by 2 and it was 3.25. Then from there, I take my bust measurement. My bust measurement divided by 4. I took my bust measurement. So from there, I connect it. You know, in the front bodies, we came in by 1/2 of an inch. But in this one, no need of coming in by 1/2 of an inch because our shoulder is kind of this. The back of this thing is kind of big. So that was what I did there. From that place, that's where you now connect it to meet where you marked your measurement, your bust measurement. So from the down part, I took my waist measurement, which is my half scale waist measurement. I took it there. Then from there, I take my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 3.25. 6 1/2 divided by 2. I got 3.25. I connect it to a straight line. You know, in our front bodies, we came down by 1, but in this case, because our bust we did not have bust in the back, so we have to just connect it in a straight line, just slant it. You don't have to come down by anything. But in most cases, some people came down by 1/2 of an inch, but I decided not to bring that 1/2 of an inch. Then I connected it. After connecting it, I measure what is in my dart. Then I replace it back. Please, no matter what you do, always replace your dart. If not, it will shorten your measurement. After doing that, I connect it to the line. Then I went ahead to add all my sewing allowance. I didn't want to add it anyway, but I just decided to add it, especially the shoulder one. I always like putting the shoulder, even though I didn't put any allowance in other ones. I like to always put the shoulder allowance in case, because most of the time I normally forgot when I'm cutting some material. So, and another thing, I was trying to save my paper. Then this is where you pay very good attention. You come in. So from your zipper allowance, you come in by half of an inch, depending on how big your bum bum is. If your bum bum is kind of very big, you come in by 1.5. You come in by 1. But my bum bum is not that big. So I come in by 1/2 of an inch. I connect it. This is to make the zip to lap very well. Like you see in some clothes, you notice that in some clothes, after sewing it and putting the zip will not lap very well. The zip will just be bulking out, like it will be bulging at the back. So to avoid the bulginess of the zip, you remove 1/2 of an inch in clothes that you make. You see that it come out perfectly fine. So after you just cut it, what you see, the shaded part is where I cut off. Shaded part is not more needed. After you must have do the 1/2 of an inch inside. From that, the same 1/2 of an inch, you take your original zip. Your zip will still remain too. I think you understand. You take your original zip. So you see that after making the clothes, it comes out perfectly fine. There's nothing like the bulginess of a zip or anything. Then after that, I went ahead to add all my stitching allowance. I add 1 inch. I can even add more later on, but 1 inch is at least better. I add 1 inch. In most cases, sometimes I add 2 inches. Okay, I don't want story that touches the hair. Depends on the kind of clothes I'm making with it. So sometimes I add 1/2 inch in my armhole line, but in this case I decided to leave it this way. So guys, this is it for our bodies, the front and the back. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for watching it to the end. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. If you are new, please subscribe. If you are just seeing my video, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much.